Hi Moth people, it's Heather Ray. I put a little plant in the shot since our theme is Earth. I want to talk about the Santa Ana winds. They're a weather system, I think, that's what you would call it, that moves from the Great Basin, Utah, Nevada area up into California, including Los Angeles, at some point in the year. Feels like it's towards the end of the year. Let's see if my science is right. I'm not a scientist, but I wish I was. People seem to act really weird in LA when the Santa Ana winds are about, when it's wind time. And people think that it brings bad luck. It really feels like hot wind. A lot of people get on edge, especially in like Malibu and areas towards the coast where wildfires can be and in like protected areas. And that's definitely a threat because the wind is so hot and it's so strong that it can really like take a small fire to a giant fire. And it's just kind of unpredictable. So I think it's like the possibility of something bad happening, but also the uncertainty of it that makes people feel so uneasy. And during one such Santa Ana wind cool day, I was living in LA and I went to go get a haircut. I was having a really bad day, spilled my coffee, stepped on the cat's tail, whatever. It was like one of those things where just one little thing after another, and I was highly irritated. So I went to get a haircut and I parked. Parking is weird there, so I checked to make sure I wasn't too far away from the curb. I hop out of my car, like I always do, and go and check it. In that one, like 3-4 second thing, a gust of wind, a Santa Ana wind, if I will, slammed my door shut. And I ran around to the side of the car, like it didn't automatically lock, but it did automatically lock with my keys inside, my purse inside, my phone inside, and the car was still on. It was in park, but still running because I'm an idiot. Well, it's not that I'm an idiot. I just thought, like, if I have to move it real quick, I just did this all the time, and it was just the Santa Ana winds, man. So I sort of look at the sky and just start laughing because it's one of those days where, like, you're over it, bad things come on, whatever. And as I was doing that, a lady across the street who was also just parking happened to see me, and she asked me if I was okay. Showed her what was going on. She let me borrow her phone. I called my best friend Brittany, the only phone number I could remember at the time, and she didn't have a car. I don't know why, but she called one of our friends who shares a car with someone and came and told him to go ahead and come over and like try to help me with this, right? So I am waiting on Paco to come and call AAA because I was a broke bitch and Paco was going to let me piggyback off of her success. And the lady is like already across the street talking to some guy in a truck by the time I get off the phone. And it's a guy in one of those, like, if you haven't been to LA, you see him around here too, but there's always just like a guy in like a white work truck, like a little Tacoma with like tons of stuff piled on the back, just like random stuff that might be able to fix any old problem. And I've had many times when I lived there that people helped my on the side of the road ass because it seems to always happen to me. Like one time a guy, I got in a fight with my friend when she moved to LA and she got so mad at me, she hopped a curb at a gas station and the entire U-Haul fell off and detached from the back of her car. And she's sitting there crying and a guy just rolls up and is like, stop crying, digs around in the back of his truck, pulls out a paint roller and pulls out one of the pieces of metal in it and like straps the U-Haul back to the car while we hold it up and he's like, drive slow. And it totally worked. So I see her talking to this guy and I tell her I'm done with her phone and she's like, well, he might be able to help. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. My friend's on the way. You don't have to do that. And she's like, no. Let's like, we're going to help. And so he comes over and asks me, can he like put something in there to like open the car a little bit at the top so that she can stick this bamboo stick down in there and push the lock button. And I said, sure. So he's pushing the lock, or he's pulling the thing. She's trying to push it. She can't see. She's like, I'm going to get on top of your car. And I was like, okay, great. She didn't really ask. She just told me, fine, I don't care. So she's on top of my car on her stomach, trying to jiggle this thing into there. And a guy from the, like, walks up from the coffee shop and is like, hey, do you guys need help? And we're like, no. And she said, actually, if you have a hoodie on, like, let us come over here and hold your hoodie up over the window so that the glare from the sun isn't in her face and she can see the lock. So she's on top of my car. There's a guy holding a hoodie there's me. I don't know why I wasn't doing anything. I guess just like waiting for my friend, or like, I don't know, officiating. And so, okay, lady on the car, guy holding a hoodie, another guy pulling a thing back with like a crowbar type piece of metal, and the lady is like punching this thing down in there, trying to get the lock to open. Another lady walks by, asks if she can help. We're like, we're all set, but she's like, can I just stay here? Because I feel like I'm invested. And I'm like, yeah, great, fine. So we're doing this for a while. It probably takes like 15 or 20 minutes for this to happen, which is kind of crazy that like four strangers that I don't know, that don't know each other, are all helping me in that like short of amount of time in a city where people believe everybody's like a vapid piece of shit, and which is not true. There's a lot of them, but it's not true. And I'm just overwhelmed by it. Even if it doesn't work, I'm just like, these people all came together to help me. Like, they don't know me. I'm just like a dumbass that like let my car get locked with it on. It shouldn't have even been out of the car in that way in the first place. At this time, as I'm starting to feel this like overwhelming sense of gratitude in these weird Santa Ana wind uncertain times, my friend Paco rolls up in her like old Mercedes that she never drives and is like, do you know any of these people? And I said, no. And she said, typical. And it is. It's overwhelming me right now because like everybody's doing this in the world now. We're all coming together. But they got my car open like almost immediately after my friend showed up to help me. And it was awesome. It was just one of my favorite memories. And I think about it every time it rains or when I'm driving on the interstate, because what the guy did to my car was actually legitimately bend the corner of the front door out, so rain streams right into the little holder for the seatbelt. So anytime it rains, I have to run out to my car, pull the seatbelt all the way out and wrap it around. Otherwise, it'll get all wet and like moldy in there. And then I have to put duct tape on the outside of my car so the water can't get in. And every single time I do this, I just think of that memory of that lady just like laying on top of my car while she's like helping, this other guy's helping her shield it, and somebody else is doing this. It's just like, it's amazing how when like you put it out there, like people are good and they will come together to help you, even during some weird ass freak weather. Thank you.